Hop out the back with a mop and I knock off the back of his top. Whether you lacking or not, shotters gon' come to your home and you getting whacked at the spot. Send a little bitch to the crib, you know that little hoe come back with a drop. Hit him in his head top, getting knocked. Smoke on BK, dead op. Boy on deck and he reckless, tryna get him wet, spin a check on the necklace. Ops in the jam get section, try to get sent PC for protection.
Hey yo, what up squad? Welcome back to HOODROK Entertainment, bro. You already know what's up. I'm your boy Rock One. Thanks for tapping in, bro. Yo, if this is your first time visiting my channel, you tapped into the realest, illest, dopest reaction channel on YouTube. Bro, hit the subscribe button, click up, squad up, tap in, whatever you want to call it, go ahead and do that. We're touching down in Poland, bro, and we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. So this video here, bro, this is called Poland First to Fight. Now we all know the invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany is pretty much what started the war. Now don't get it twisted. Hitler was pretty much fucking with Austria anyway. You know what I mean? He was already doing stupid shit before he invaded Poland. Alright? But because, I'm pretty sure that because there was like an assistance agreement or something like that between Great Britain and Poland, that meant that I've seen the agreement thing, but I've already done my research on this shit. Like in New Zealand, we learn about World War II. It's part of it's compulsory in school to learn this shit. Do you know what I mean? World history is compulsory in schools right from preschool all the way through to high school, bro. Alright, so we got all of this shit. So pretty much, bro, that the agreement pretty much stated that if Germany was to ever attack Poland, the British would get involved. Also, Russia was meant to get involved too, bro. But apparently what happened was, I'm pretty sure Germany and Russia went off and had a secret meeting, bro. They met someone, had a secret meeting, bro, about invading Poland and splitting it into two, bro, right? Both it being occupied by Russia and Germany. Now that's what I heard. I want to know what this dude's got to say, because a lot of people said this dude here speaks a lot on Poland's fight to stay independent, bro. So we're gonna see what's up with this, man. Alright, so I'm pretty sure. So Hitler was supposed to invade Poland on the 26th of August, 1939, bro. He was supposed to invade on the 26th, but because of the assistance agreement that was signed by Great Britain and Poland, he sort of put the brakes on it. But it was only for like 3 days or something. You know, on the 31st he invaded. He attacked Poland. And on the 4th, I think it was, the 3rd or the 4th, because it was only 4 days that Poland had to fight by themselves, and then Great Britain rolled on over. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into this, bro. Let's see what's up with this. Hit the notification button. That's my little bit that I know. Alright, that's why I shared that.
Heard recently that the Poles are jointly responsible for the Holocaust, that death camps, for example, in Auschwitz were Poles.
No. No, that's wrong. Who says that?
Jointly responsible for the Holocaust. It's heard recently that the Poles are jointly responsible for the Holocaust.
I don't know where he heard that, because I've never heard that. I've never heard that. The Germans are responsible for the Holocaust, bro.
That death camps, for example, in Auschwitz were Polish, but that's only a little bit of a newly written politically correct history which uses the word Nazi instead of German. What's more, murderers are very often whitewashed and other nations, like the Poles, get blamed. And even the chief of the FBI believes that rubbish, believes it.
Really? New Zealand's got mad respect for Poland, bro. We understand what I understand. What my school got taught. The kids at my school got taught that Poland were like, Poland, one of the major reasons why the fuck the whole world didn't get taken over right at the get-go. You know what I mean, bro? The fact that they were able to stand by themselves for a few days, well, I don't know what Great Britain was doing, scratching their left ass cheek or some shit, bro. Bro, you gotta understand, back at World War II, Poland wasn't considered a major fucking military power, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was stupid of the world to think that, bro, because if you remember rightly, bro, Poland was fucking on point through World War One as well, bro. You know what I mean? So the fact that we all doubted them was stupid, because, bro, they had to fight a war on two fronts for a little bit there, bro. I'm pretty sure they did.
And repeats it, so let me tell you how it really was, and I hope that in 10 minutes you will understand that it's not worth to repeat that nonsense and that the Poles did a great job during the World War II.
Facts. Shout out to Poland, bro. Now, bro, I'm gonna put a video up at the end that I reacted to, right? And it was about Poland's, it was a different video, sort of on the same thing, bro, but it actually showed you, how fucking tough the Polish are.
The biggest balls in Europe. In 1933, Hitler came to power and nobody yet expected what huge conflict will be caused by this Austrian jerk, just in case some of you thought that he was German.
I love this dude already. Look, we're only a minute into it. I'm sorry I'm pausing it a lot, bro, but I need to try and let you know how much New Zealand actually knows about the war, bro. Like, we played a major part in the war as well. You know what I mean? Being a British... Brian, look at me, being you know, colonised by the British, but look how small our country is. We're an island country, bro. We won the war in Gallipoli. We're fucking years old. I love this dude.
Let's explain this whole situation and what exactly led to World War II. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended the Great War, caused that the Germans, even though they were winning at the front, lost the war. And what's more, winning countries dictated them such terms that it was only a matter of time for the Germans to look for revenge. They had to accept independence of Poland, Czechoslovakia,
Yeah, I'm gonna move my camera down here. Alright?
down the army and pay huge war reparations. And one day there came a small guy with a mustache and said, "Hey Germans, we are the master race and we won't let anybody push us around like that. Besides, we got nothing to lose. They milk us for all we are worth. And do you know who?"
And you know what, bro? What's fucked up about that? Like you see, the dude's from Austria, bro. He's Austrian. And his fucking grandparents were Jewish, I'm pretty sure. And what's fucked up is that Germans actually believed his shit back then. But you gotta remember, bro, a lot of people get it twisted, bro. They actually think that the German community, the German people wanted that to happen. It wasn't like that, bro. It wasn't like that, bro. You know what I mean? The people didn't want the war. Hitler wanted the war. He had his own stupid ideas.
Who causes all these problems? I'll tell you, the Jews do. And Germans listened to him. Step by step, the Germans grew in strength, violated the terms of Treaty of Versailles, they got the army going, and soon annexed Austria into the Reich. To make a good start, they opened a concentration.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, bro. Austria. So Germany was already fucking with other countries before he came and did this to Poland. Now, the reason why World War II started was because of the agreement between Britain and Poland. You know what I mean?
Camp. And do you know who opened the first concentration camp in the world? Check it out. You'll be very surprised. The world was silent, although it could have just listened to our Polish Marshal Piłsudski, who considered a preventive strike on Germany before they would grow in strength. But Western politicians pretend that nothing's happening.
Nah, see, this dude's a little bit biased. I like him, but he's a little bit biased, bro. You know what I mean? He's a little bit biased because at the end of the day, Germany was only threatening Poland. right? The whole world didn't have to get involved in that. There were other countries fighting their own little wars around the world. You know what I mean? And at that time, this was a beef between Germany and Poland. It didn't have nothing to do with anyone else. So I kind of don't agree with them.
They would grow in strength, but Western politicians pretend that nothing's happening and buried their heads in the sand, exposing their butts.
Well, they had pretty much known, well, Germany wasn't threatening the world. They were threatening y'all niggas, you know what I mean? And Great Britain did tell Germany, yo, if you fuck with them, if you actually invade them, we're gonna come fuck with you. And they did, you know?
The Germans, accelerated with the lack of opposition, decided to make the Poles an offer they couldn't refuse. And it went like that. Dear Poles, we are taking over the free city of Danzig, but for our own comfort, we will cut a piece of your territory for us so we could build a road there, cause for us it's not very convenient that your country is on our way. Just take it easy and follow the example of the rest of the world shutting up. Accept our offer and maybe we will not attack you. But they probably forgot that they were making an offer to the nation which had just regained independence, loved every bit of the country and had the biggest balls in Europe. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Józef Beck, gave this very important speech. I let him talk.
Pokój jest rzeczą cenną i pożądaną. Nasza generacja, trawiona w wojnach, na pewno na okres pokoju zasługuje. Ale pokój, jak prawie wszystkie sprawy tego świata, ma swoją cenę. Wysoką, ale wymierną. My w Polsce nie znamy pojęcia pokoju za wszelką cenę. Jest jedna tylko rzecz w życiu ludzi, narodów i państw, która jest bezcenna. Tą rzeczą jest honor.
Naturally, we knew that this answer meant war with Germany, but we, the Poles...
That dude was the man, bro. This dude, the man, bro. Did you hear that speech, though?
Cenna. Tą rzeczą jest honor.
Naturally, we knew that this answer meant war with Germany, but we, the Poles, were the first ones to say no to the Nazis. But wait, there's more.
We're the first ones to say no to the Nazis. Well, usually the only ones that they were saying anything to at the time. You know what I mean? And it was actually the British that said no to the Nazis. The Nazis said, we're going to invade Poland. The British said, nah, you're not, bro. If you do that, we're going to fuck you up. Now, look, I'm not British. Don't get it twisted. The British invaded my country and took all my shit. But I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? Like I said, I love this dude, bro, because he's 100% Polish, bro. Like, this nigga's really about it. But he's a little bit biased, I think, bro. You know what I mean? He's downplaying a lot of stuff. Because I know that Britain behind the scenes were fucking pressing him, bro. They were pressing Hitler like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And they held up their end of the bargain. They said to Poland, if Germany invade, we'll get involved. So they waited, and Germany said, we're going to invade. Britain said, if you invade, we're going to fuck you up. So they held off for 3-4 days, bro. And then they invaded on the 31st. Right? And when they did that, Britain said, bro, we told you not to do that. And they got involved. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if it wasn't for Britain and all of that, bro, Poland would have got taken over, bro. Let's just keep it real, right? If Britain and all of that had just France and shit had just kicked back, Poland would have lost. But because they got involved, Poland's free.
I'm not sure if you know that there were talks with London, Paris and Moscow, and someone had an amazing idea that for scaring Hitler, our territory will be entered by the Red Army. But the Poles, drawing conclusions from the past, knew that if the Russians enter our land once, they probably won't.
Russia and Germany had a meeting, a secret meeting, bro. Remember I said that? They had a secret meeting, bro. That they were both going to invade on two fronts. and split the country.
Leave it out of their own free will, so we
But it
said
didn't
another
happen.
no. This time to Stalin. We had to pay the highest price for honor, but on the other hand, other countries didn't even try to fight for this most precious thing, and yes, I'm talking about England and France.
What do you mean they didn't try and fight for freedom? They were free. England's free as fuck. England's always been free. What do you
Price
mean?
for honor, but no, this time to Stalin. We had to pay the highest price for honor, but on the other hand, other countries didn't even try to fight for this most precious thing, and
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
yes, I'm talking about England and France. England has been offered a choice between war and shame. She has chosen shame and will get war.
What do you mean, war and shame? No one threatened England. Like, no one threatened the British. They threatened Poland, bro. You gotta remember, all of this is Germany's beef with, is Hitler's beef with Poland. That's all. He was hell-bent on invading Poland. This dude here is acting as if Hitler said to England, said to Britain, we're gonna invade you, bow down, or we'll fuck you up. And British just went, yeah, okay, we'll bow down and let you do your thing. Didn't happen like that, bro. It didn't happen like that, Jake. The British would never bow down to no one, bro. Like I said, I'm not even British, G. I'm just saying it how it is. There are some countries that will not bow down to no one, bro. America's one, Britain is the other one, bro.
Choice
Facts.
between war and shame. She has chosen shame and will get war. Do you know what Hitler...
Motherfucker, that's funny as fuck, bro. Britain and all that shit won World War I, bro.
wanted the most? To take revenge on the French for the Treaty of Versailles. He wanted to strike French first, but he knew damn well that if he does, the Poles will fulfill the contract and attack him from the east.
Not really, bro. He knew, this is what, I'll tell you why he didn't invade France. He didn't invade France because he knew that Britain would fuck him up, G.
Unfortunately, he also supposed that the French and the British are sissies and will not dare to attack Germany, so he struck Poland first. Unfortunately, he was right. Glory to the heroes. And so started the war, unparalleled, and it started in Poland. And what's more, the Germans provoked it themselves. How did they did that? Well, they dressed their own guys in Polish uniforms and attacked their own radio station. They immediately announced that such a Polish aggression would not be tolerated, and so started the war.
You sneaky motherfucker, I didn't even know that. I never got taught that. Now that's some sneaky shit. Yo, there's no doubting Poland's fucking bravery, Poland's fucking steadfast and determined fucking mindset to stay independent, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not even downplaying Poland's part. Poland, like I said, one of the main reasons why the war wasn't won by Germany right at the fucking start. But you know what I mean? I'm just trying to say, bro, you shouldn't be so biased, bro. And like, I think the dude's trying to make it sound like, you know, Britain, France and all that, and America and all that weren't shit. Like, they weren't shit, that Poland was the main major player in the war. That's wrong, bro. You know what I mean?
World War II. We were attacked along almost the whole border, and Westerplatte was battered by the battleship Schleswig-Holstein, which had come here several days before under a pretext of a friendly visit.
It came several days before. It actually came on the 26th. If you looked at history, it came on the 26th because Germany were going to invade on the 26th. But it ended up happening on the 31st.
If it was a friendly visit, then Putin is a peace angel. But getting back to the war, Germans didn't have any idea that the Poles will be so hard to fight. The
Facts.
Germans were sure they'd win because they had adopted a new strategy, Blitzkrieg, an all-out express attack, and they had approximately 4 times bigger firepower, but it wasn't so easy with us, the Poles, because the Germans thought that, for example, Westerplatte will be defending itself for maximum 1 day, but our boys defended it for a week and didn't even suffer heavy losses.
4 days.
During the
4
Battle of
days,
Bzura, we also gave them a rough ride. For 4 days, Wehrmacht didn't know what's going on. We gave them such a licking. The German Blitzkrieg was slowed down and Warsaw was given more time for preparing the defense.
Facts.
What's worse, after only 17 days after the German attack, the Russians attacked us from the east, and we, the Poles, had absolutely no...
17 days. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You're gonna remember they invaded on the 30th or the 31st, and war was declared by Great Britain on the 4th.
no chances in fighting against 2 such huge enemies.
So I don't know where the 17 days come from. You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, this war could have ended in September 1939 with Hitler's defeat if only France and England had shown honor, because let's be honest, Hitler had to send almost all of his troops to Poland, leaving his western border almost completely defenseless. You're probably thinking, "Ooh, Poles, you were fighting so bravely but still you lost." Well, we'll talk about that.
They didn't lose. Poland didn't lose. No, bro. The Polish are fucking tough.
In a minute,
bro.
but still, with a smaller army, abandoned by the British, the French, and with a Russian knife in our backs, we still fought for over a month. Just like France did, which had a way bigger army and wasn't stabbed in the back.
I will not die for Le Danzig, then you will die for Paris.
Flying aces. Despite the last September campaign, the war continued on the biggest territory in history, and you could find Polish soldiers in every spot between Narvik and Tobruk. Generals, command...
They even fought along New Zealand. Some New Zealand pilots spoke about flying with the Poles, and they said that the Polish pilots were some of the most fucking bravest and some of the best pilots they'd ever seen in their lives, bro. You know what I mean? And it's recorded in New Zealand's history that the Polish fighter pilots were damn good, bro.
Commanders, boys, girls, and even a bear. Yeah, we had a goddamn bear fighting for Poland, and we are very proud of them all, and Europe should be very grateful because those guys have done some unbelievable stuff.
Facts.
In 1940, the Germans started attacking Britain from air. If they had gained advantage there, they, well, let's be honest, would probably conquer whole Europe because the British infantry would not stand a chance against Wehrmacht.
Now, this dude needs to emphasize the fact that when Germany invaded Great Britain, bombed Great Britain, that is one of the major reasons why Great Britain fucked Germany up, bro. This is why they fucked the Nazis up so bad, bro. It's like, bro, let's be honest, bro. Poland would never have won this war by themselves, bro. Let's just say that, bro, right? So the dude needs to give some credit to the people that actually jumped in. And it was a collective reason why the war was won, bro. No country was going to win that war against Germany by themselves. So it was a joint
Polish
venture,
soldiers,
bro.
who did a great job defending Poland, offered the British their help, selflessly. They just wanted to fold those who had taken their country. At some point, Polish soldiers were 20% of pilots fighting in the Battle of Britain, and fighting bravely. The pilots of number 303 Polish fighter squadron shot down the biggest number of German aircraft among all fighting squadrons. But attention please, they did so despite the fact that they had joined the battle when it had already lasted for weeks, and in spite of flying on slower Hurricanes. They had the best ratio of shutdowns to losses. 1 hour machine lost to 3 German ones. Poles were fighting not only in Polish, but also in British squadrons. shoulder to shoulder or
Same as every other country, bro. Every other country was doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Every other country was doing the same thing, bro.
should I rather say wing to wing, Polish and Royal Air Force pilots.
You gotta understand, bro. New Zealand pilots, bro. New Zealand's small as fuck, bro. We got the smallest air force in the whole fucking allied countries, bro. And we were fighting in Gallipoli and in Britain and over in fucking Europe, like in Germany, in like Poland, all over the fucking world, bro. We're small as fuck. You know what I mean? Everyone was fighting all over the fucking world, bro. It's crazy.
Defended Britain, and as I said, if not them, Hitler would probably conquer whole Europe, and that's not only my opinion, even...
Yeah, but yo, you gotta understand, bro, like New Zealand actually left our own country. There was no war in our country. We jumped in our planes and shit and came over to Europe to help y'all motherfuckers, and we're on the other side of the world, bro. We're the most southern country in the whole fucking world. We're down by the Antarctic. And we still came to Europe to help y'all niggas. I bet this dude won't ever mention that.
And Sir Hugh Downing, commander of Royal Air Force during the Battle of Britain, said after its end, had it not been for the magnificent material contributed by the Poles...
Yo, I'll give you a quick fact. If it wasn't for New Zealand and Australia, World War II would have lost, bro. We would have lost World War II, bro. Those are facts, bro. Look that shit up yourselves, bro. The war for Gallipoli was a major fucking point in the war, bro. You gotta understand, if Germany had taken Gallipoli, the whole Pacific would have been open to their navy. That would have fucked everybody, bro.
Polish squadrons and their unsurpassed gallantry, I hesitate to say that the outcome of the battle would have been the same. To simplify, the commander of Royal Air Force said that without Poles, the British would have screwed up. It might seem that our pilots will be appreciated, but no! Instead of a simple thank you, the British tried to downgrade their accomplishments. Examples? No problem. As soon as Poles weren't needed anymore, we were sold to Stalin during the Tehran conference. But wait, there's more. Representatives of every nation fighting against the Nazis were invited for the London victory celebrations of 1946. But not the Poles.
Oh, that's fucked up. Nah, that's fucked up. That's some fucked up shit.
It's still not the end, because when decades after the battle there was a monument to the pilots raised, it didn't mention any Polish squadrons. And do you know who protested the most? The British pilots, who knew the bravery of our boys best.
Facts, bro. Facts. Fuck the British government. Fuck the British government. That's fucked up. Even your own fucking pilots, even the British pilots knew. Yo, these niggas here were fucking on point. And still the British government said, yeah, now we won't even mention them. That's fucked up.
Thank you, guys.
Fighting the Holocaust.
Against information that's being repeated lately, the Poles helped the Jews like any other nation during World War II.
Yes, they did, bro. Yes, they did, bro. And so did New Zealand. Did you know that during World War II, New Zealand had a clause? We put a thing in our, you know, that any Jews fleeing their countries or fleeing the war could come to New Zealand and get automatic fucking citizenship and stay here. Did you know that? We took in thousands, bro. We took in thousands of them. Remember that? Thousands jumped onto ships and came to New Zealand, my nigga.
But wait, there's more. I got another sensation. We didn't open the death camps. The Germans did.
Yes.
Surprised?
Facts.
It's just the beginning.
Facts.
The Holocaust was a terrible crime. Never till then nobody tried to kill the entire nation.
Bro, rest in peace to everyone that died in the Holocaust, bro. And yo, big ups to everyone who survived that. And bro, my heart goes out to any of the families, anyone affected by that shit. That was so bad, bro. It's the worst fucking thing that ever happened in world history. That's fucked up.
In such an organized way, the network of death camps organized by the Germans were supposed to exploit and then destroy the Jews, but also the Poles and everybody who would oppose to the German master.
I'm a gangster, bro, and that shit nearly makes me cry, bro. I'm a street nigga, bro, but that shit nearly makes me cry. Every time I think about that Holocaust, bro, I think of people lining up with their kids, lining up to go and get gassed and shit, bro. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Race. Yeah, not only Jewish people died in those camps. Do you know why Germans created
New
their
Zealanders
death camps
died
here
in those
Poland?
camps too, bro.
Because here lived the biggest number of Jews, which probably means that they had a pretty nice time here before the war, right? Holocaust is a very broad subject, but let me just mention Operation Harvest Festival, when Germans killed over 30,000 Jews in just one day. And what reaction caused the Holocaust in the Poles, who are blamed for complicity today? Let's start with the fact that only in Poland hiding Jews was punishable by death. Yet Poles were hiding Jews in their houses, basements, root cellars on their fields, even though they knew they could be executed. And indeed, whole families or even whole...
Shout out to Poland for that, bro. Shout out to Poland for that. You can't downplay that. You cannot downplay the part they played in trying to help the Jewish people, bro.
They knew they could be executed. And indeed, whole families or even whole villages were butchered by Germans for helping Jews. Of course, there were several scumbags who turned in Jews, but a huge part of Poles helped the people whose families we had been living for generations with. Despite own problems with the German invader, the Poles raised the Special Council to aid Jews, Żegota, to save them from the Nazis. There's the most honorific decoration in Israel, rages among the nations, and among all honored, the most numerous group are the Poles. Without them, the number of Holocaust victims would have been much, much higher, and it's very sad that not everybody wants to remember about this. When we, the Poles, risked our lives helping Jews, Western Europe made money on the Holocaust. Did you know that the French railways made money on transporting Jews to German death camps, and some...
What? What? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
You know that the French railways made money on transporting Jews to German death camps, and somehow, lately, the Poles are blamed for helping the Nazis.
That's fucked up.
This film could last for hours, and I still wouldn't manage to tell you about everything the Poles did during the Second World War, about the Battle of Monte Cassino, about Warsaw Uprising, or the fact that Poland was the only one among occupied countries in which foreign legions of SS had never been created.
That's cool.
It shows that we never surrendered to the Germans, we fought like no one else did, and we did not collaborate as it is lately being tried to tell you. Please remember about all that you have just heard the next time someone will try to give you crap about Polish participation in the Holocaust.
Yo. That was a cool video. That was a cool video. Right. Now, I agree with everything he said in that video. But I think he missed out a lot of shit. You know what I mean? He missed out a lot of stuff, bro. But yeah, hey, look, at the end of the day, bro, the war would not have been won by one country. It took a collective effort for everyone to participate and for everyone to win. So, look, big ups to everyone that every country that play a part in the World War II, winning World War II. Shout out to Poland, bro. Y'all niggas are some tough dudes, bro, for real. Hey, yo, I'm gonna go and upload this, bro. I learned a little bit more on the war too, bro. I didn't know a lot of stuff about, like, the tracks, about the train fucking services of France. You know what I mean? Shipping people to... Come on, bro, that's fucked up. But yo, anyway, bro, mad love, bro, mad love. I'm gonna... If you know any more videos like this, bro, send them in to me and I'll drop them, alright? Y'all niggas know what's up, bro. HOODROK Entertainment for chat. Stay safe, stay dangerous, and I'm out. Peace.